Get him out of here.
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back. They snatched that chain, boy. Get back. What y'all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back. We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back.
Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Factor, guys. It's another Tuesday. You got stuck with me. Now we stuck with Jack and Nick O'Rourke and Rob Watson. Now we stuck with the fellas on a Tuesday, guys. So welcome in. It's just another Tuesday down here at Burke Lakefront. How we feeling this morning, guys? We got World Series madness, Sheduer Sanders drama. We got Cavs in full force already. Where do you guys want to start at? Jack, how you doing this morning? Like Ryan would always ask.
Yeah, dude, I-90 West has been terrible for the last, like, 2 weeks. Like, I would say on average, it's probably taken me about 45 to 50 minutes to get here in the morning. I don't understand it. Like, I get it. You got to shut the one lane down for, I think it's through 2028. Like, we might see a dome before we see the highway back to 4 lanes, but it's terrible because they're shutting down another lane every single day. Like, you can't commute. The city can't have an economy. Like, we got to figure something out here.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Anthony Lima tweet about this too as well. Like, coming down 90 West is already brutal as it is. Going down to 2 lanes on 140th, there's been an accident. I think he said 7 straight work days.
It's brutal.
I hate being that guy where it's like, oh my God, I'm 55 years old and all I complain about is traffic. But like, that's where we're at these days, coming down to the lakefront.
So you're all driving the same way though. Like, just drive straight.
Yeah, Nick has famously said that too about. Like,
I don't
why
get
does traffic
that.
exist?
I've never gotten mad, and like I post it all the time, and people like every time I post it, people get so mad and say that it's just like engagement. I seriously don't get it though. Like, if everybody's going in the same direction, I get when there's like an accident or there's something that's like actually prohibiting cars from going through, but for the most part, like it especially like in the mornings or like in rush hour, like for the most part, it's just too many cars on the road. But if everybody's supposed to be going the same speed and there isn't any accidents, then how's this happen?
My dad is a serial problem of why I believe traffic exists. And it's people knowing their exit is coming up and still being in like the express lane and then deciding they
just trying to rip 4 over. Yeah.
Wow. It's
The Joey
like
Faff. The Joey Faff.
It's a bunch of stuff like that causes traffic.
But that still shouldn't set you back like 15 to 20 minutes. Like if like 3 or 4 people are doing that every 5 minutes, that's not enough to warrant like miles worth of miles of piled up cars.
The only other things I could think of are when the lights on the exits are so bad that it causes those like long lines where the lights aren't even, so you got people waiting 40 minutes and then it's a like 8-car lineup off and it blends onto the highway, so then a whole lane is stuck, forcing another lane that would have to merge back a couple miles back to stop. But
well, you guys get blessed on the east side a little bit. I think on the west side with the sun in the morning, I think that's the one that's the killer because no one dude, there, Pat, right? I would say there are days when nobody can see driving forward and you're just going and praying.
No one owns sunglasses.
It's tough. It's right into them eyeballs.
See, I tried to wear those transition glasses that like got dark when you go outside and light inside for a couple of years when I was a kid, and I got made fun of. So I just figured I'd rather be blind in the sun than get made fun of more. So
yeah, that's fair. We got traffic cover, guys. We can get weather next, or we can get right to the right to the Browns, where there's not a lot of traffic going on in Berea. We've had a lot of drama the last couple of days. Andrew Berry not going to be talking to the media the next couple of days. Sheduer Sanders back injury news before the Patriots game. I know we probably talked about it a little bit yesterday, but a lot of drama in Berea heading into a bye week, just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, and this is, like I don't want to call it drama, but it kind of is. And like what stinks about it is that like it's kind of like a byproduct of what they've created. Like Sheduer wanted to play and they said that he couldn't. And then when they were asked about it, like it was just a non-answer. Kevin Stefanski said that's not his focus right now. So like they continue to do this. And this is an issue that I've had with the Stefanski-Berry regime since like literally day one, from all the way back in 2020. Like they have always been like this. They're so paranoid about not giving the media anything that they give the fans nothing and no insight. Like the reason why post-game press conferences or bye-week press conferences exist is to use the media as a bridge to gap between what's going on with the team and the fans. But if you're not giving the media anything, then the fans aren't getting anything, and people are left to run with these crazy conspiracies as to why Sheduer didn't play, or as to why Barry's not speaking with the media at his, midweek press conference. And you would think, like, with Kevin Stefanski, like, Ed Stefanski managed Allen Iverson during his time with the Detroit Pistons. Like, you would think that guy would have a little bit of a clue on how to publicly speak. And I think that he does, because when you get Kevin on like a podcast, or you get Kevin to do media in the off season, like, he is insightful and he has things to say. So I think this is a larger initiative from the black SUVs, if you will, that they're just not allowed to really communicate anything to the media or the fans because they're so paranoid that somebody's going to say something wrong. And that's just the complete wrong approach. And it's flat out unprofessional. Like, I've looked back and thought back, and I talked to Daryl about this yesterday. I was just texting him about it. Like, he told me that in his entire career, 30 years of covering this team, he's never once had a general manager skip out on a bye week press conference. And we've had worse years than this, right? We're 2-6. We've been winless at the bye. We've been worse than this. And GMs still sit up there and face the music. I think back to 2019 when they had like Super Bowl aspirations and the Odell trade and things were going so bad. John Dorsey sat up there and he faced the music. Sure did. He sat up there and he answered the questions. Like, that's part of the job. That's where I think these guys are losing people. They don't want to do the full job. They want to do the parts of the job that's convenient to them. But the full job is hard, guys. It's a lot more than the spreadsheets and the math like you guys like. It's hard. It's a people business.
I think that it's just very telling, one, about your character, that you would choose to be the first GM to just say, I'm just going to go up and not say anything to anyone. Because he knows what's coming, and rightfully so. You played your part in this, and that's why we are where we are. You got to go up there and answer the questions. Nothing's probably going to happen. They keep talking about how safe you guys are, but this is the kind of stuff that's going to make it to where he thinks more and more about getting rid of you. I think the national PR on the Browns, like I told you guys this morning in the group messages, is as bad as it's been since they signed Deshaun Watson. Like, how the situation with Sheduer Sanders is being handled, how secretive they are. Now you got your GM saying, I'm not going to talk to people. The way people view Kevin Stefanski is very, very bad right now. And he could completely turn the page on that if he would just communicate what they actually think or why he's making the decisions he is to the media. But like you say, you're not even going to consider a quarterback change before even watching the film. Like, people aren't going to want to hear that. They want to see Sheduer Sanders, but you're not even giving a reason. You say it's just not your focus right now. How is he not at least a consideration of a focus of fixing offense when it's the last quarterback we haven't seen? He's got potential. We got to see what he's got to do at some point. So I don't know how that's not a part of your focus right now, but overall, I feel like they've just been really immature and stubborn. And this is reaching Baker levels of what it was his last year here with the injury and how they just kept saying we're going to keep playing him no matter what. I feel like this situation's kind of just showing us who they are as people and their character. And honestly, these aren't people I want running my team.
And overall, like, I want to play devil's advocate here and say that, like, I kind of get it. Because, like, what is Andrew Berry really going to go up there and say? They're 2-6. Their season is sunk. They have no quarterback. They have no offensive line. They have no receivers. Every button that he's pushed outside of Malik Collins is the wrong button. So he went wrong at every turn. So on one hand, I want to say, like, well, what's he supposed to say? It's a waste of time. He's going to sit up there. He's going to give the rehearsed company lines. But okay, so of the two decades worth of GMs that preceded you.
If the president wrecks the economy, he's going to have to go answer the country at some point.
It's called the State of the Union address. It's done every single year, regardless of what's going on, good or bad.
You have to respond.
It's how you lose the rest of the fan base by not doing something like that. Like, there's nothing to look forward to. There's no payoff. Like, it's clearly not coming this year. It's not coming next year. Like, the least you can do, not even if you're not, obviously you're not going to apologize, but just go up there and try and explain what's going on, right? Like, that's the bare minimum you can do at this point.
I mean, there's zombies.
That's like just human though, dude. Like, it's like the minimum.
This organization right now, I hate to say this, like,
is it the worst we've seen? Or at least the state of how it is. It's the worst we've seen.
It's approaching zombie status. We're like you're dead and you've been dead for so long that, like, you've actually come back to life and there's no pulse there. It's literally just zombified. Like, this is the zombie Browns is how I would categorize this era. Because like Myles Garrett has been doing this I want to win act since Baker. He was part of the crew that ran Baker out of town. People forget that. So like that act is tried and true. This we've got to be better, we're gonna be better act is tried and true. Like we have gone through this for years and years and years. And
don't forget about the we have a plan.
And like to use one how about this, guys? Like, to use one of their own phrases that we always hear. Have they given you as fans a single data point to believe, because they love that, they love their data points, a single data point that leads you to believe that they're capable of turning this thing around even next year with their 2 first-round picks and 2027 with their first-round picks? What's one data point that shows that they're competent enough to fix any of this?
The only data point I can think of is that they should all be fired, because the only success this regime saw was building off of the success of the last regime and what was left behind from their failures and those picks and that talent. At this point, I'm just like, all right, if that's the only way I've seen us go to the playoffs in my lifetime is we recycled. We got some new people that could kind of fix a couple issues for a short time with talent that was left behind, and they'll probably start to mess it up in a couple years because they'll start to be influenced with the overall toxicity that is the Cleveland Browns. And honestly, I'm starting to see that loser mentality seep into the fan base, because they're like, they've got this like trauma bond to Kevin Stefanski that like, if we get rid of this guy, we'll never find anything better. He's like the abusive boyfriend that's just nonchalant, doesn't care anything about us at all. But we're just like, oh man, he did one good thing for us one time, so we got to hold on to him. No, he's not getting the job done anymore, and neither is Andrew Berry. So no, I don't trust them with my future and wasting my next couple years as a fan watching them and going out and drafting probably an outside linebacker or something with our first round pick next year instead of a wide receiver and an O-lineman. No, and I don't know why the fan base is so steadfast in defending this guy when all he's done, he had a little bit of success with some players that were there. He got rid of all of them or ruined all their careers, and now he's left with absolutely nothing. I don't get what there is to like anymore.
Yeah, Nick, to your credit, I was going to say as well, is really up until this preseason, people were attacking you for this, and something you've held steadfast on for a while is how much John Dorsey was better than Andrew Berry, and people were up in your mentions all the way up until not very long ago about it. Like, if you look at the studs of what John Dorsey left, like you had the roster there. Like, all you have to do is add the icing to the cake.
Bro. He got us Elijah Moore, man.
Do you remember when we were freaking out about like, oh, Austin Hooper's making too much money? I'd kill for that right now.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt's still scoring touchdowns, by the way. That's another John Dorsey guy that Andrew Berry thought we'd rather have Jerome Ford.
Oh my God, dude, it's crazy. And Jack, you mentioned it too. Like, we'll get into it after the break, but there's a lot of smoke going around about this Jags trade too with Travis Hunter. Imagine if we did take Travis Hunter at 2 and didn't trade back. The way that the draft class looks right now for people like Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski a little bit, that's the only saving grace that they've got right now, is they head in 2-6 into the bye week, guys. But
is the draft class that good?
I
don't want to start.
Yeah, we can talk about that
after the break, because the trade back was cool, but they could have traded back better. But we'll get into that after the break.
Tune into Honor the Land. I'll give you some thoughts about that. But guys, I want to tell you about our friends over at Fairway Ford. They are the #1 Ford dealer in the state of Ohio. You can save every dollar you can. If you get over there, you can save thousands of dollars on your new dream vehicle. They're the biggest Ford truck dealership in the state of Ohio with the largest selection of F-150s and Super Duty trucks. They won't be beat on price by any other Ford dealer in the area, in the state. Don't let a short drive down to Canfield, Ohio, prevent you from saving thousands on your new dream vehicle. They've got over 500 vehicles in lot. You guys in the lot, they were you guys were down there a couple months ago, and that was they had so many vehicles down there in stock. Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, lowest pricing and same hometown level of service. So scan the QR code over there. There we go. Scan the QR code now or visit the website fairwayfordohio.com. That's fairwayfordohio.com. Guys, we've got still so much to get into. There's more Browns to talk about. There's more Jags trade like we were talking about with the Travis Hunter, the draft class. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on The Big Factor. Hey, welcome into the Big Factor, guys. And it's another Tuesday that we head into the bye week. Feels like year after year after year, we're trying to grasp at any straws of any positives that the Browns can get. Heading into the bye week, they're 2-6. We're talking about the Browns draft class and any positives we can take here, guys. Where do you want to start with it, Nick?
Any
Thrash,
any
your boy?
positives
I
that we
mean,
could take?
I'd take the second round picks.
Classic.
Bang, good edits.
Yeah.
Second round picks though. Do you love the trade back? That's what we were the debate about how we
No,
fleeced the Jaguars.
Yeah. Like the trade back was smart. I don't know about taking a defensive tackle. Mason Graham has been awesome. Like, I'm not trying to say that Mason Graham hasn't been good. He's
Solid
been
player,
really,
though.
really good. I just like defensive tackles, not really position in need. It wasn't then. And it's also just not really a premium position. Like I think you guys see, like Malik Collins is playing really well, and you were able to just sign him off the crap heap. You know, Shelby Harris is a vet that's playing really well that'll probably get traded. And same thing, you were able to bring him back on a 1-year deal. So I don't know that the overall strategy was too sound. You could say that about a number of things, but ultimately the trade down, smart. You get an extra first-round pick. You're never going to balk at that, especially with a team that's kind of, you know, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Jaguar. And then you get a extra second-round pick, which is Quinshon Judkins. Love that. Schlesinger has been a good pick. Judkins looks like a good pick. Would like to see him behind a better offensive line. Harold Fannin Jr., undersized tight end, but he's playing well. So, yeah, like the draft class is good. The draft class is good. It's just that there weren't a lot of premium players selected. And I don't think, like, would we be over the moon about Harold Fannin if we had like a regular offense?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Would we really be that ecstatic about Quinshon Judkins if we didn't have to set the sport of football back 2 decades and bring back the wild card offense and score more touchdowns without the quarterback on the field than with them on it? Like, probably not. You know, like I think had these guys been drafted into normal settings, they're probably not getting the same opportunity as they're getting with the Browns. Now, that's not to complain because, like, they're playing well, so I'm not going to disparage them for that. I just think that it speaks to the overall ineptitude and the overall lack of talent everywhere else, and that speaks to the failure that's been the last 5 years. Forget about, you know, this year. That speaks to how bad the last 5 drafts really were.
The jury for me, I mean, it'll still be out on the trade until they make the pick next year, depending on who they get. Because there's plenty of starting
and what Travis Hunter turns into.
Yeah,
like you can't ignore that.
There's plenty of starting linemen that went in the draft. I'm sure a lot of people would consider trading Mason Graham for a starting caliber offensive lineman. I know everyone would consider trading him for Emeka Egbuka. I know everyone would consider trading him for Jackson Dart. These are all people you could have got if you chose to trade down even lower. Now, don't know if that was possible for them or if there were bigger packages that they decided to decline. Who knows? Maybe someone wanted to jump up into that top 2. But you choose not to do that. You choose to take Mason Graham, and you're seeing some other people flourish. And that's really what it is. They liked Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward has a chance to be good in the NFL. He's in possibly a worse situation than Dylan right now, but he still makes some plays. But they didn't like Jackson Dart past years. They don't like guys that turn out to be the good quarterbacks. They like the Dorian Thompson-Robinsons and whatnot. So it is what it is. I liked the Judkins picks and the Schlesinger pick. Good picks. Fannin, sure. Tight end, probably could have signed some free agent that would do about the same thing. He reminds me of like Jonnu Smith. He's a solid guy, but we kind of gas it up because he's a Cleveland Brown. We have no one else to throw it to.
Right.
But
also like the glaring issue with this draft is the 2 quarterbacks.
And even I could argue 2 running backs when you have that many needs at receiver and on the line. Like just even if you're just getting depth behind them, like it makes the 2 quarterbacks, especially if one's not a first or second round quarterback, makes literally 0 sense though.
It just boggles my mind too that they took 2 of them too, because if you wanted to take a quarterback,
I mean, Jimmy had to have parachuted in for the second one.
I mean, you saw their faces when they made those picks too. Like they were thrilled when they got Dylan Gabriel, hated it when they got Sheduer Sanders. But I'm just so shocked that they didn't trade into when they traded in, they could have traded into the back end of the first round like the Giants did with Jackson Dart. If you got your guy that you like, I guess they went up and got him, which normally in a normal world you'd be like, that's terrific. But if this was your guy who was a 7th round pick max by most, you know, prospect evaluators, everything like that, it's so shocking that you use such value on him and then traded up again to get Sheduer Sanders. Doesn't make any sense to me, but we've got a lot of Sheduer Sanders injury stuff to talk about too, because guys, they put him through a 15-minute workout and then immediately made him basically the emergency 3rd quarterback. All of this seems so fishy to me. I just feels like Johnny Manziel, feels like Baker Mayfield a little bit too, where they just make their decision and go with it, whether the results are actually reasonable for that or not. I just don't understand why they do that with Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry included.
I think if you're Sheduer, he's not going to go out there and say, "Oh, it wasn't my decision not to play," unless he was healthy and like thought he could go. Like I think this isn't an original theory of mine, but I mean, Rob and Nick talked about it at length earlier this week. Like I think there's a really decent shot that they just didn't want him ready in case Dylan Gabriel could go after. Like, because I don't know. Like, there's no other reason, especially if the kid says he can go. Like, the kid's not going to go out and say something like that unless he thought he could be out there.
Yeah, like he definitely wanted to play like that. Like like if he said it, like if he said it, like he wanted to play. Now, maybe good on them for protecting him, because I think everybody kind of knew, like when you play the Patriots in Foxborough and you're the Browns, like traditionally does not go your way. And like had they put him in the fourth quarter there, like that would have been putting him in a really bad and a really dumb spot. So they probably did the smart thing, even if it is accidental. You know, I don't know. Like this makes my whole point that I made in the last segment is like, here we go. Like, here we are creating some sort of larger conspiracy about Sheduer Sanders' injury because nobody will be honest and say what happened.
It's so crazy, to skip out on the media as well. I mean, that just makes no sense. If you want to get an answer and not bring that stuff upon yourself, go talk to the media about it. It doesn't make any sense.
I think this actually would have been the best game and the most acceptable game for Sheduer to have came in off the bench. I thought the O-line, while they were terrible at run blocking, but Patriots basically said,
it
we're not
actually
gonna let you run
was
the ball.
decent. Yeah.
Dylan was only sacked one time on the play where he threw the safety. It wasn't really a pressure in his face. He had plenty of time to make his throws. He just wasn't completing them. So I think it would have been a great game to see, oh, well, the O-line's playing okay. Maybe a different quarterback could push the ball down the field a little bit. I don't know. I'm starting to think something stinks of the situation overall. I'm sure we're going to all find out one of these off seasons. When all the guys are gone, we're going to get the full book on how tumultuous this all was, how turbulent it is. It's really bad and it stinks. And whenever he does get in the game, I hope it's not one of those Todd Haley sandbag situations where he's not calling plays and he's like really just checks out and gives up. But that'll be something that'll really get him fired. And maybe that's what he wants at this point. I don't really know. Yeah. But I just keep seeing the video of Kevin picking up the phone when they draft Dylan and just like them smiling back and forth to each other, bro. Like the fan base has really had enough, and it's just gonna keep getting worse.
So Tommy Reese is the new Todd Haley, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, probably. That's the rumor of who's going in.
Yeah, so do you think...
I don't know about that.
He could be the next
Hugh Jackson
Freddie
and Todd
Kitchens.
Haley hated each other, man.
So
I don't think it's like that.
He could be our Freddie whenever
When
they put him in.
what
If
he kept
gives up
saying
the
in
play
Hard Knocks
calling.
wasn't it like you got to be in my chair to make these.
Yeah,
he kept being like
they
very
hated each
condescending
other.
to two former head coaches who were his
hated each other.
I just
coordinators.
think it could be one of those
Who put those
things-
three on the same staff and thought that was going to work at any point in time?
Hugh.
Yeah. Like there's no those three personalities were never going to work as a triumvirate.
I just already think the play calling is so bad. I don't want to see it magically get worse when we put Sheduer in. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's
then
the thing,
people
too.
will really start to say something.
I will tell you, if Tommy Reese takes over play calling at any point this year, his snap count has been lower, obviously, since week 1. But I do think Dylan Sampson's stock will go up a ton because one thing that we saw a ton with Tommy Reese over at Notre Dame, he was with a group that did not have a strong receiving core. It was a bad O-line. They didn't have a ton of weapons, and they had a little, 5'8" scat back named Chris Tyree, and every single play was drawn up for that kid the rest of the year. And he wasn't even particularly good. He was a backup at Wisconsin the rest of his career. But so that's where his offense defaults. That's what he leans on when things start to go south.
How do you feel about Sheduer liking the Instagram posts about trending to stardom?
I don't
did not even
care.
see this.
I don't care.
It's just the new topic of the day, boys. The new
I don't
topic.
care.
They got to find something to talk about.
I mean, of course he wants to play. No kidding.
Yeah, guys, it's always
The
interesting
sun
over
came
there
up
in Berea.
this morning.
Yeah, the sun-
What other facts do you want me to give you?
Yeah, it wouldn't be a Browns bye week without a little bit of drama. But, guys, I want to tell you about our friends over at Garage Beer. They've got those classic 2 flavors, light lager and lime. Just 95 calories per beer, 4% as well. They've got all the flavors that you need, just those 2 classic flavors. Our friends over there at Garage Beer, got to go pick up some at retailers near you. And, guys, we got so much more to get into. There was a crazy game last night. I don't know if you guys stayed up. Jack, did you stay up for that baseball game last night?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, they played. It was so nice. Let's play it twice. Honestly, the World Series Game 3, we'll dive into that. We got so much more to talk about right here on The Big Factor.
That'll be our quarterback next year, though, low-key.
Diego Pavio making his way to the Browns. You heard it here first from Rob Watson back here on the Big Factor, guys. Where do you want to go from here? Because honestly, we had such a crazy game last night. I don't know if I think half of the people here watched the full game with the Dodgers Game 3 wildness. There was 18 innings played. The Dodgers taking a 2-1 lead in the World Series. I know by the time this airs, you won't. They'll be further along in the series, but it was an 18-inning game, and there were no runs until the walk-off beyond the 7th inning, Jack.
Yeah,
Just
no,
wild
that was a
baseball.
crazy game. My biggest thought, I guess, was how cool it was to see Clayton Kershaw out there, just like probably one last time in his career, just going
Unreal.
absolutely nuts. Was it? I think they. Like the grounder back to him when he flips over to first base, just absolutely lose it for the crowd. But no, it was a cool game. I mean, Shohei Ohtani is the best baseball player we've ever seen. It's not even remotely close at this point. I think you need to go scour the depths of every continent on the planet if you're the Guardians and go try and find the next two-way player like that. I thought Dalton Varsho made about 3 game-saving catches in center field on the other side of it. So I don't have a ton of thoughts about the World Series, but crazy game though, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting too, because like, do you still feel the same way as you did when the World Series started, Jack, where you want the Dodgers to win
Yes.
because that would prove that baseball's broken?
Yeah, I don't want
feel
the
there's-
Blue Jays to win. It's just like, why would you want to see all of your old players go win a World Series when you had them? I will never understand fan bases that think that way.
Yeah, it's so funny too, guys. So obviously you probably didn't stay up for the whole game or whatever, but Miles Straw, I almost said Miles Straw, Ernie Clement, and Andres Jimenez, all of these dudes, they couldn't get the clutch base hit when it mattered, and that was something they were able to do for the Guardians for years and years. Believe it or not, Miles Straw actually was able to come in clutch a couple of times, but they couldn't get the bunts down last night. It's just when you're facing somebody like Shohei Ohtani, they intentionally walked him at least 4 times. He reached base safely 7 times in one base.
How does that happen?
Like, that is insane work to me. He was 4 for 4 with 2 doubles and 2 home runs. That's where do you guys still think the baseball is broken? Because I definitely do.
I called it quits at midnight. By the way, I think we were just wrapping up the 12th inning.
Crazy.
yeah, it's like
And that's further than most people would make it.
And you know what? Like
When
that
did
in
the
and
game
that in and
end?
of itself, talk about baseball being
3:30.
broken. Like that game didn't end until 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So like for the fans and the players both, like that's unacceptable. I really think like maybe
Don't
we
they
got
play today?
maybe we got to
Yeah.
bring. Yeah, they play today. So
what
like,
do you do with your bullpen?
Maybe
That's
you
the
got to
thing.
just bring back the ghost run. You know, like
Ghost runner, yeah. I'm honestly.
playoff ghost runner. Like that was unacceptable last night. Like to have more than half the country go to sleep in like a pivotal championship game. Like the series was tied. It was the first
Game
game in
three's one of the
LA.
biggest games
like,
in any series.
2 bullpens going. Like I mean, pivotal game. And like for that to not end till 3 a.m. Like part of the issue with baseball for
Crazy.
sure. And then like is baseball broken? Yeah, probably. I mean that's the case though with like either of these teams. Like you know Toronto. They're paying Vladdy is their highest paid player.
Yep.
And then they're paying George Springer, who I think is still making like $15 million more than what we pay Jose.
Oh yeah.
And then their third highest player is nowhere close to what our second highest player will be, who will be either Bibby or Kwan if they do the 1-year extension to avoid arbitration thing with him this year. So like the dynamics are just so. It's so far off. But here's the thing. Like, we can sit here and we could complain about it, and we are, especially because we're in Cleveland. We're in a market that doesn't spend. I don't see any fix in sight. Like, they're gonna go into this, like, CBA, and there's going to be the lockout and stuff. But, like, how do you sort this out? Because the gap is so massive where, like, they're paying Shohei Ohtani $700 million deferred over the next 2 decades. That's not a
How's
problem.
that possible, by the way?
That's not a problem
That's how
that
the
could
team's
solve
so
in
stuck,
one
though. I mean,
lockout, though.
stacked.
Like,
crazy.
okay,
It's gonna be a 5-year lockout.
So 20 years from now will be the last time that we're ever allowed to do this.
Yeah.
Like, how's that gonna work? I just can't compute it in my mind because this money is seriously deferred.
Oh yeah,
for
because
so
you can't be
long.
like, oh, deferred money stops now. You
And
know,
it's like,
yeah,
well,
no, there's.
what are we gonna do?
Right.
We told this guy he's gonna be set in year
Yeah.
2050.
Unless they say you got to pay out all those contracts, but then how is that fair to have people come up with all?
Well, I mean, where's the owner gonna? I mean, actually, that they have the money. Let's be honest. They can
They've
find a way
got
to
the
do it,
money.
but.
They've got the money.
No, it will
wouldn't
be
kill 'em.
because Nick, this lockout seriously might go 2 years. I think there's and if you're baseball at that point, like you're already. I mean, you're a stone's throw above hockey. Don't get me wrong. No one cares about my sport here in America, but like you are so clearly third on the totem pole. You are nowhere near first and
You
second.
gotta start watching
People
the
hate
big boy
lockouts.
sports,
They're gonna go down, man.
Come
Hockey's
to
gonna
the
pass
NBA,
baseball eventually. I'm
bro.
telling
Well,
you.
the NBA is about to get deaded too, low key.
Yeah.
but
If you're
that's a
baseball, you
talk
know what you
for
do?
another
You
day.
tell them, you give them, you hand them metal bats, you let them take steroids, you tell them go win games 15-12.
Yeah.
Isn't
People
Shohei
will
on the
watch.
Kinda what they're
mound
doing.
today too.
Yeah,
What?
Shohei's pitching today. He had 2 home runs yesterday.
Did you see his quote post game?
We're in a
Yeah,
cryo chamber.
Like the
greatest thing.
reporter, it's like 1 a.m. here local time, or it's 3 a.m. here, so it's like midnight out there. And like it was a very fair question after 18 innings. I don't even remember what the question was, and he gives his answer in Japanese first, so like for all the people that stay up in Japan could understand him first. So he still uses the translator, even though he can speak English. So he gives his answer, and they give it to the translator, and he completely disregarded the question. And he said, "I'll be honest, I want to go to bed as soon as possible." I was like, "What a great answer!"
Oh god.
That's like when Jokic found out that the parade was like 3 days later and he had to stay around. You ever seen that video?
Yeah, he just finds out that he can't go back to his horses or whatever. And
Yeah, the
and
horses.
stuff like that. But guys, we talked about it with Bruce too. Actually, the other day, it's kind of shocking that we've gotten back to actually talking baseball about Shohei Ohtani, because the thing is like, what, last summer? Was that even last summer? This summer? I don't even remember when it was.
This offseason.
Yeah, this
It just
offseason,
happened.
his gambling thing went down, and you haven't heard an absolute peep about it. Well,
I have a comment.
It kind of makes sense when you can hit 2 home runs or 3 home runs and pitch like 7 innings.
The
in a start.
league is making a business decision. You were just
Correct.
talking about how the sport is dying. If you suspend this guy or ban him, it dies right there. This
Well,
is
I
one of the
also think-
So
last
what happens when
reasons-
Ohtani comes down and is like, I want to play for the Cleveland Charge for 2 years?
Well, the Fed covered the
Basketball?
Feds worked faster. Like the Feds had evidence that it was not him. That was the difference here. Is that like there was like the interpreter, like they've got voicemails of the interpreter saying like, "Oh, I'll just steal that." From
Oh, yeah, no,
Shohei."
he did not do a good job of not getting caught. He did
so,
not
like,
do a good
when
job.
it's that clear cut and dry, when you've got a guy saying, "I'll just steal that,"
Or
then
maybe they're
maybe that's
telling him to
maybe
say
that's
that.
the perfect alibi. I don't know though. Like I don't think you're saying that on
I think
somebody's
the black
voicemail.
SUV
That was years
said-
ago though. Those voicemails were from years
The black
ago.
SUV, so they want you to believe they were from years
That's
ago.
true.
Like, the black SUV said, we're going to make sure this case plays out so he could play baseball next year.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you're like that. Same way LeBron will never go
And they're
down
like,
to
oh,
the bench.
Cleveland has a Hall of Fame closer. First time we hear a word, you're out.
Yeah, and that started in June, and when they suspended him forever,
Yeah.
basically. But you know, it's not suspended forever. You've got until Friday to get over to Bloodview Haunted House, guys. It was an awesome time. We went down there. What was that? 2-3 weeks ago. At this point, Halloween is right around the corner. You got 6-7 weeks ago, but you've got 3 days. Halloween's coming right up. We're gonna have all of our friends down there at Bloodview all the way through Halloween. Make sure you get over there. They're open Fridays and Saturdays, 8 to midnight. And honestly, it was a great time. Like, we went over there. We've still got makeup pictures to go through, and Nick had amazing makeup to show the people and everything like that. And Ryan scaring people, and Jack was wrapped up like a mummy and everything like that. But get on over there to Bloodview Haunted House. It was a really great time, especially for Halloween too. If you're gonna
Yeah,
do it up,
man.
definitely do it up for Halloween. That's one of the ones you got to do.
That'd be super cool. Like,
Yeah.
how cool would it be to
Haunted
go
House
to
on
Blood?
Halloween.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh
cool.
man, love it. But we got more to get into, guys. We'll be right back on the Big Factor. Welcome on back into the Big Factor, guys. I just want to go to sleep as quick as possible, like Shohei Ohtani said. That's amazing, Nick. I love that quote so much because that's going to be the new meme for at least the next 2 months, I would
I
say.
haven't seen it on a graphic. I'm surprised. Like, Bleacher Report's got to get on that.
Yeah, normally those people...
Because I
really
would throw
get
that
into
on my story so fast. I'm gonna look and
Exactly
see
right.
if they posted
Honestly,
it.
that's a McNeil special. If he can
Maybe
get
they
to it.
posted it and I just
Chris,
didn't
if you're
see it.
listening, and I know you are, you got to get on that. But guys, our Cavs last night, they took care of business against the Pistons, against former friend, I guess, current foe, JB Bickerstaff. They were able to kind of just run away with it, even not being at full strength. I don't know if you guys saw anything different from JB Bickerstaff and his Pistons over there, but it's kind of funny to see the dichotomy, like the change up of where the Cavs are at now to JB Bickerstaff from 2 years ago with the Pistons. I know he's got less of a roster and everything like that, but it was kind of interesting to see old friend JB Bickerstaff there.
I just want to shout out that in my new basketball watching career, the Detroit Pistons second quarter was the worst quarter I've ever seen a team play of basketball at any level in my life.
So the Pistons fans are going to learn what every Cavs fan learned about 2 years ago. They've hit the JB Bickerstaff wall. He's turned the team competitive, but they are going to get no better than where they are right now with him as the coach. They will fire him after the season. That's all.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, honestly, too, because what was that final score even? It's not indicative of how well the Cavs played. They were shooting it well from outside, and
Cavs played awful. They played so sloppy last night.
Yeah, they were sloppy.
They were still up
sure,
20 the
but-
whole time.
Yeah.
Because the Pistons went, I believe it was 14 shots in a row without making a shot.
Cade
So
struggled.
he wasn't
Yeah,
good.
Cade struggled. So
Wasn't
that was
good.
an interesting one, too, because that draft was that Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham back-to-back, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I don't not remember.
No,
but,
Jalen Green was in Mobley's draft.
Okay, so I'm thinking of Cade Cunningham when his draft. He was definitely going to be a higher pick, but he had some injuries in college basketball. But seeing him as a pro, he can.
Wait, I'm pretty sure.
Did he go
I'm
one?
He went
pretty
one.
sure
Yeah, he
Cade
went
was the
one.
first
In
overall pick.
2021.
Was Ann after him?
I pulled it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, my bad. But I was
Nah,
thinking,
you're good,
I was
you're
thinking
good.
he was
You're
going to
good,
drop.
you're
But Cade Cunningham, he had a decent career so far. He's had really high peaks and stuff like that. But you can see him kind of fall off on some games as well, where it's really streaky with that guy. I don't know if he can really carry that team to the playoffs in a longer term sense. But what did you guys see from him last night against the Cavs?
He is Hall of Fame all bad body language.
Oh.
I did pick up on that about him.
Yeah.
He
He's
looked-
24, so like there's
Kind of
still
a JB
it's
thing,
still
too.
time. There's a young player. He's only 24.
Cade was 7th in MVP voting last year. He's a great player. He's got
He's
a
a
lot
great
of
player for
potential.
sure.
He's a 6'8" guard.
You
They
need,
they
you know,
need
on a
someone
playoff
else on the
team, yeah.
No, he needs to be the two. He needs to be the two. They need a guy, but he could definitely lead a team. But he's not a sniper. Shot wasn't on last night. He takes a lot of tough middies. He gets to the basket. Bad matchup against 2 7-footers, but they definitely need more there. Duran's a good player, but he's not a Robin that's sufficient enough. They need someone as good of or not better than Cade on that.
Oh,
team.
what sucks too is the JB just life cycle of
Yeah.
like
And
this,
he's in a
this season
JB
doesn't
Bickerstaff
mean
offense,
much.
bro. He's in a JB
Yeah.
Bickerstaff offense. There was no movement on that court.
Like
but-
you know, like what sucks if you're a Pistons fan. This is like part of what like we talk about what's wrong with sports. You know, like we just did baseball. Like if you want to talk about like not what's wrong about the NBA, but like what sucks about the NBA is that like if you're a team like Detroit and you're finally respectable, you've been bad for so long. Like they've been bad since the Cavs beat them in the playoffs. Like the first year
Andre
LeBron
Drummond,
was
Reggie
back
Jackson.
in 2015. Like
Andre
they
Drummond.
were bad for a minute.
He was out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, they've been bad for so
Stan Van
long.
Gundy.
They're finally not bad. Like they're respectable.
No, you
they're
have a
they're a
young
good
star.
basketball team with
Cade's
a
top
young
15
star
player, top 20,
and
top
a
15.
good head coach. Like they've got a good head coach, but you know, like they will make the playoffs and they
Doc
will
Rivers
do
cycle.
absolutely. They're a threat to do absolutely
I
nothing.
told you.
after
I forgot who my third coach was in that evolution. I think it was Tibbs, but it's the Doc, Tibbs, JB. It's a cycle, bro. They're culture setters, not floor risers.
like at least in baseball, and
Oh,
we
they're
haven't
floor
seen it.
risers, not ceiling.
We
risers,
haven't
I
seen
should
it in baseball like recently, but you have the surprise teams that are good teams all throughout the regular season, and they're not big spenders, but they break through and they, you know, win a World Series or at least make a World Series. And certainly in football, like you get into the playoffs and anything can happen. But like basketball is the one where like unless you have an alien, and Detroit just does, like Cade Cunningham, great young player, but like not an alien yet. And unless you have an alien and a really good head coach and a really good squad, basketball it's so hard to win a title in the NBA.
They have a quick thing because I know the league is dead in a couple years. I know you guys probably don't watch a lot of West Coast basketball. The Spurs just
Wemby's
drafted
coming for everybody.
Dylan Harper, who is essentially Cade Cunningham but left-handed, and he looks really good. And they still have De'Aaron Fox, who's hurt. That trade looks kind of bad now because they have Dylan Harper, but they could always just move De'Aaron Fox again for more talent. And Wemby looks like the clear best player I've possibly ever seen in my life.
You're like 6
So
blocks a game right now.
It's probably
Yeah,
it's
it's
probably
unfair.
over. And Dylan Harper's a dog too, and they got a lot of other guys on that team.
I think Evan Mobley's a great player, but he should definitely send a couple bottles of wine Victor's way for getting that Defensive Player of the Year award because, we know who the real winner of that
he'll
award
win
was.
5 of
Yeah.
those in a row if he doesn't get hurt.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. There's so many awards like that too, guys. And switching gears a little bit, we're going to hit college football. We've got a lot of coach vacancies coming out. There's a lot of big games coming up this week. Kind of elimination season, as Bobby Carpenter called it. You'll actually see it on the show today with Bill Bender, but it's a lot of elimination games in terms of the college football playoff. A lot of head coach openings, a lot of firings. We'll see. We'll go through all of those coming up next. Welcome back into the Big Factor, guys. Pat, Jack, Nick, and Rob. We're talking college football. We already had your boy Brian Kelly fired, Jack. We had James Franklin earlier in the season. Billy Napier, I believe, was just fired for the Florida Gators. We've got a lot of movement in college football. A lot of head coach openings. Is there anything where you guys want to start with? Who do you think's next on the chopping block, and what might be the most inviting college football job in the offseason?
Did Sarkisian kind of put himself on the chopping
Yeah,
block when
didn't
he
he?
said, like, I'm looking at the Titans?
bit,
What? I
He
think
said, "Pull me over. I'm driving funny."
I think he knows. Like, I think he knows. I think he knows. Like, he's 51. If he can't do anything with Arch Manning, I mean, he's probably taken Texas as far as he can ever take them. So the fact that he's already eyeing up the NFL right now, it kind of maybe tells you that, you know, Arch started off the season really bad. His last couple games, he's actually been a little bit better. Yeah. So he is improving. And then Sark was really mad and said that he, you know, one person started a rumor and it ran with it. I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, usually when these reports come out, they're pretty ironclad. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But I thought that was an interesting element of this weekend, was that, like, yeah, I wasn't expecting a Steve Sarkisian would go coach the Titans report to come across my feed, but it's it.
I don't know how he's even going to get like my lasting head foot impression of Steve Sarkisian will always be him getting fired from USC, one of the biggest schools in the country, for showing up to practice drunk. You can't do that. Like, how do you work your way back up with a not even great, I would say it's a disappointing tenure at Texas, looking at everything, like the way they were talking about Quinn Ewers back in the day once he transferred over was getting dang near as much hype as Arch Manning. They almost lose to Arizona State last year. Like, how is he going to go get the Titans job? He can't even handle the job he is right now.
Yeah, that's the crazy part too, is like they barely beat Mississippi State. They took them to overtime. They
barely beat Kentucky. Kentucky stinks. Have you seen them play? They suck.
Oh yeah, but Mark Stoops, that team is brutal. But
Mark Stoops' buyout's the only reason he's still there. It's $38 million.
Yeah, pretty much. That's huge down there for Big Blue.
Who thought of that?
Because he was supposed to.
He
go
went
crazy
8-4 one
with
time.
Varian Brown, and there was some other quarterback.
Well, no, this is the thing though. Is like, so that's good. So we've already had a couple of openings come up in the SEC with Pittman. Pittman got fired. Brian Kelly, Billy Napier. It's looking like you're probably going to possibly still get Stoops coming up in the next couple of weeks, and Hugh Freeze at Auburn has a tough schedule to end the year as well. So you're looking at 5 right there. Lane Kiffin is probably going to jump from one of those schools to another. That's 6 openings in the SEC. Eli Drinkowitz at Missouri is a hot coaching name to go other places too. There's a chance half of the SEC head coaching jobs are open this offseason. Like, that conference, like, already building off of what's happened with like Texas and Oklahoma and these teams coming in, it's going to look so much different next year. Like, it's going to be wild. Plus, obviously, the Penn State job.
Yeah, the Big Ten is going to be all over the place as well, too, because, you know,
Fickle's got to be.
Fickle's going to be gone. I mean, James Franklin is already gone. We'll see if Matt Rule jumps from Nebraska over to Penn State as well.
Maybe not after. You know who might? PJ Fleck, dude. He's the name to watch, I think, now. Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he could get some high-level jobs as well, too. But I would obviously keep an eye on PJ Fleck over there for the Penn State job and everything like that. But the big one is Florida. I think it's going to be Lane Kiffin. I think he's going to be he did some, wink, wink, nudge, nudge type stuff where he's like, it's never been about the money before. And it's like, Lane, we kind of know who you are, my friend. Like that, you don't have to lie to us, but that's kind of the world that college football is.
Right.
I think it's going to be Lane Kiffin unless you guys think otherwise.
No, I think it's going to be Lane Kiffin as well. And like, here's the thing. With it being Florida, I said this yesterday on the show and why it was my most attractive like transfer portal destination. It's my most attractive head coaching position as well is because it doesn't have to be about the money. No state income tax.
Yeah.
It is favorable if you are a head coach, if you are a high earning individual to play in a state like Florida where you don't have that state income tax. Like Mississippi, you're not taking home the same as what you're taking home in Florida.
Yeah,
Better
correct.
place to live.
And especially
Better
like
jobs.
Florida, one of those recruiting hotbeds in general, you're never going to catch Florida State lower as a program too. I know Florida, you're not high up yourself, but like Norvell's probably out of Florida State. Like that's a school you can go take back Florida right now if you just hire the right guy, which they haven't in a couple of cycles, which is their issue.
Like the U is, overrated. Better than any team that we just named.
The U is
but,
about to get Lagway in the transfer portal.
Not winning the
That's
national
my
championship.
easy
Wow.
pick. That's my
Cristobal's not winning crap.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they can do in the transfer portal. It's also going to be interesting to see what we can do, guys, on our FanDuel parlay of the day coming up next here. Jack, I think you cooked up a good one for us.
Oh, we did.
Oh, boy, we cooked up a good one. I can't wait to hear it. Honestly, we'll be right back on The Big Factor. Welcome back into the Big Factor, everybody. You know what time it is. It's time for that FanDuel parlay of the day. But first, Nick, tell us about our friends over at FanDuel.
It is NBA tip-off week. FanDuel is your home for live betting. So even if you miss the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join because FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets in your first $5 bet win. So visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 plus, present in select states. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. You'd see full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
All right, Jack, what do we got here?
Yeah, we're going to use logic here today. You know, we're going to do the thing where the Charlotte Hornets lose a lot of basketball games. They do it often. So we're taking the Miami Heat money line because they're playing the Charlotte Hornets. That's all you need to know. And Shohei Ohtani will do the most insane thing possible every single time he steps onto a baseball diamond. Played until midnight last night. All he wanted to do was go get some sleep. And we thought, hey, the guy got enough sleep. He's going to go out there, get the win for the Dodgers money line, and hey, he's going deep as well, back-to-back days. Shohei Ohtani home run, Dodgers money line. Put those three together, you're looking at plus 333 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app.
Absolutely love it, guys. And this was another great edition of The Big Factor. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will see you back here tomorrow. Ryan on the sticks. He'll be back tomorrow. Catch you on The Big Factor.